Welcome, dear students. This is the unit course number 6 in UG, at UG level course number 6. The title is Fundamentals of Journalism. In this course, we have 5 blocks and 12 units. Each block contains 3 or 2 units. Coming to the main block, that is block 1, that is the basics of advertising. In this block, we have 3 units, namely introduction to advertising, types of advertising, models of advertising. There is 3 units we have in this block. Advertising is one of the most important marketing technique for any media. If the media should be survived, then it is required advertisement. It is a dynamic and truly challenging communication tool in the mass communication. One of the oldest professions in the world, marketing. Because in India, we see the first newspaper, that is the Bengal Gazette. Actually, that is the advertiser, the main advertisers who given the advertisement to the Bengal Gazette and some news also. So that is why advertisements and also news is included in the Bengal Gazette. That is why it is called as the general advertising, that is we call that is advertising mainly comes the core area of marketing. Generally, in a Master of Business Administration or Bachelor of Business Administration, there is advertising is a main point. Whereas coming to the mass media, journalism or mass communication, here is advertising. As a journalism students, we must know about the advertising because this is the financial base for the survival of the newspaper or any media, electronic media, distributed advertisements. Either it is the form in the form of print media, or in the form of audio, in the form of audio visual, or any digital component, whatever it is, multimedia, whatever it is. The advertisement important for the media. In the unit 1, deals with the nature, scope, and functions of advertising, how it works, its benefits, and various forms of marketing communication, etc. We will discuss in the unit 1. Coming to the unit 2, it discusses the different types of advertising and how they differ from each other. Each other means here a newspaper. The difference between the advertisement and newspaper what will be known in the chapter number 2. That is the unit number 5. In this block, we have another unit, that is unit number 3. That unit models of advertising. In this unit, it explains brand personality, USP, MAR, one model that is and various other models related to the advertising, like AIDA model and needs and effects model. All these models are part in the advertising in the marketing. Coming to the focus of our unit number 1. This is unit number 1, introduction to advertising. In this unit, we learn the main already nature, scope, functions. Again, in the functions, there is a primary functions and also secondary functions. And other terms like in the marketing, not an advertisement in the newspapers or electronic media. There is other forms of advertising like a personal selling. That is also one kind of an advertising. Personal selling, sales promotion, publicity, public relations is also public relations is a free form of advertising. There is a public relations officer who deals with all media persons. The first definition. In general, the news is the form of a communication to the mass media, mass public, mass identified public, mass audience. Sometimes it goes to the target audience also. Whereas coming to the in general advertising need, very easy definition is advertising is a paid communication and non-personal presentation of message. See in the newspaper we see a car advertisement, a soap advertisement, or any food item of advertisement. There is the manufacturer who came to us and saying about the product. That is called the personal setting. But in advertising, there is a non-personal presentation of message. Non-personal presentation of a message. And what we are advertising, there is a two types of a service of a products. Product, here is a pen with me. This is a physical product. Life insurance service, that is not a physical product. That is a service. For services and for products, the advertisement is required because then only it will be known to the mass audience, targeted audience, or many people. So, general definition for the advertisement is advertisement is a paid communication, non-personal presentation of a message. It is a form of a communication that is an idea to promote goods or services issued by an identified sponsor. Sometimes here you may get the doubt Government of India or Government of Telangana, they also release advertisements about the schemes, policies. Is there or advertisements are a general if we open a newspaper, we see a box item that is a board letter of the Telangana government or Iron Municipal Corporation, Cyber Municipal Corporation, Warangal Municipal Corporation, and there is their activities. That is advertisement. In case of a news will comes in a style. That is a font. We see a news font is different than the advertisement font of advertisement script is different. So there is a difference between the advertisement and newspaper. Advertising is multidimensional. It is a form of a mass communication, a powerful marketing tool. It is a component of the economic system. If there is no advertising system in the media, it will be collapsed. The economic system is collapsed. Advertising means of financing the mass media, a social institution. It is an art form. It is an instrument of business management. It is a field of employment. It is a profession because there is advertising agency or advertisement wing of a newspaper or any electronic media or the radio media, what it is. There is a scope for the employment. There is a required one advertisement salesperson and a manager and building officer. This is the hierarchy is there in the recruitment stage, recruitment phase. That is, it is a field of employment. For example, matrimonial advertisements, recruitment advertisements, tenders, classified advertisements, notice, public announcements are also examples of advertisements. Here is advertisement. Generally, we have two types of advertisements. One is a display advertisement, which is comes in a box, and another one is a classified advertisement, which comes in a line, 4 lines advertisement or 5 lines advertisement. There is only text in the form of letters only applies. So that is a classified advertisement which is categorized. For example, rent of house, one section, real estate is one section, automobile is another section, and greetings like birthdays and other marriages, there is a one section, means one classification. That is why we call it is a classified advertisement. Whereas coming to the display advertisements, the entire is a display. How that is a display, how it will be counted? It will be counted by the in the measurement, that is a square centimeter in the square centimeter. The rate per advertisement is also based on the square centimeters. 4 into 4 means generally nowadays all tablet pages they are using 4 centimeters of a column, 4 height, 4 width. That is a 4 into 4 display advertisement. 4 into 4 means there is a 16 square centimeters. 16 square per square centimeter maybe 100 rupees or 200 rupees or 300 rupees based on the circulation, based on the place, based on the color or black and white, based on the position, means front page or rear page or inside pages. These are the various types, various rates is applicable for the advertisement. Basically, you must understand that advertising is an announcement to the public of a product, a service, or an idea to a medium to which the public has access. For example, a Mercedes car. For Mercedes car advertisement, it will not appear in a local newspaper of a small town. It appears in the English newspaper of a wide circulation newspaper or national newspapers only. Because the target audience of that manufacturer who knows where is the target audience. So that is why they give the advertisement in the national newspapers, national English newspapers, or national regional newspapers, largest circulated newspapers only. Coming to the media may be print newspapers, magazines, posters, banners, or hoardings. All these comes under the print form. Next one is electronic form. In the electronic form, radio, television, video, phone, internet, these are all comes under the electronic media, or it is included digital media also. An advertisement is usually paid for by an advertiser at rates fixed or negotiated with the media. There is a number of definitions for advertising. Among them, we have given in the textbook a few. According to one American Marketing Association, advertising is any platform of a non-professional presentation and communication of ideas, goods, and services by an identified sponsor. Sometimes we see there is no identification. Sometimes a greetings will come. Sometimes a messages will come without identification. But the marketing personnel who knows who has given that advertisement, but general people they don't know who has given that advertisement. Dear students, if you have any doubts, you may raise your hand. You may ask any question, raise your hand and ask me your doubts and questions. Otherwise, you may give your opinion, your doubts in the chat box. I will read it and give you that the reply. Already we have discussed the non-personal presentation of a message. In advertisements, there is no face-to-face communication, as it happens in case of the personal selling. Sometimes we see in our apartment, in our house, the personal selling the persons who, salespersons who came to us and sales, they gives their advertisement about the, generally we see soaps, washing liquids, any small goods, home appliance, water purifiers. These advertisements we see, and we see about mobile internet. Even though we have a school advertisements also, they rush to our house and ask our children to join in the school. It is called personal selling. There are a presentation to mass media and as such are interpersonal in nature. It is a form. It is a form, a presentation, or a sign, maybe a symbol, an illustration, an ad message in a magazine or a newspaper or a commercial on radio or television. It is a form in the, maybe it is in a text form, maybe it is in a symbol, maybe it is in a sign, maybe it is a illustration, maybe it is a logo, whatever it is. Sometimes we see in a full page advertisement just use as one logo of their company name. So that is a brand. They know in case if their brand is a widely publicity, then the products which are produced by that brand, the audience, the target people, the mass people, a large number of people who buys that product. So that is why they don't give each single product of their brand. They just use a logo, a sign, a symbol. For example, we have a child marketing system of a single management who gives many products, who produces many kind of products. For example, Tata, they produces from the automobile to software and many other areas also there in a very many areas they have. And like that, many companies, Ashoka Leyland, there is various products and Wipro. These are the brands. So they use their brand name. So the people who buy a product based on that brand name, they believe that the brand is gives a quality product. That is why they use only one, a logo, a sign, a symbol in the entire page. For example, Apple also phones and other mobile accessories, iPods, all these watches also. But in only they use a logo, a sign of the Apple in the advertisement. So this is it is happens. The idea is to promote goods or services. For that, advertisement is required. Advertising is done with a specific objective of promoting a product or service and increase their sale. By a producer or a manufacturer need advertising. Her ultimate goal is to increase the sales. An idea could also refer to political parties related to people know about their party and why they should vote for the party. And like general education, adult education, awareness programs, awareness campaigns by various NGOs and including with the government agencies. Government agencies here, for example, Department of Health in the state government, they give advertisements about the various awareness programs, various about the diseases and cautions and how we have to survive, how to be protect from those diseases, we protect ourselves from the diseases. That gives the advertisements. In the advertisement again there is a campaign. Campaign is a long run advertisement scheme is called campaign. General advertisement is once in it will appear on and off. But a campaign, it will appear a series, sometimes some 3 months, 4 months, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever it is. It's continuous. Who gives advertisements? Advertisement gives by a sponsor. Maybe he is a manufacturer, maybe he is a government representative, maybe he's a ordinary person, why they require advertisement. Nowadays we see in the newspapers there is a personal advertisement about the birthday, about the marriage, about any congratulations messages of achievements, even though tours, bank voyage, written from the abroad, there is also advertisement. These all are called personal advertisements. There is a no already we have discussed about the increment of sales, but there is a no a kind of a sales. That is there is a satisfaction. Satisfaction for the satisfaction person purpose they use advertisement. The sponsor has control over the content, schedule of advertisement, take the case of advertisement of various soaps or TV advertisements, mobile advertisements. Like, see, the sponsor will think that the advertisement between the prime time. Prime time means in general 7 to 9 p.m. of Indian context. Because those time is very leisure for all people, all family members who are available in the house. So many things that the prime time advertisements start to book for their product advertisement. But the time, it is rate also applies based on that time. There is a more definitions in the textbook. Once you read it, very simple. We have given advertising is the business of creating thinking for commercial advantage. Advertising is the principal reason why the businessman has come to inherit the earth. Advertising is the ability to sense, interpret, to put the very art of the business into type, paper, and ink. Advertising is the life of trade. Advertising is a judicious mixture of flattery and threats. These are some other advertising definitions which we have given in the dictionary. And another Canadian person who was a copywriter, John E. Kennedy, and another one is Thomas Advertising Agency described advertising is an salesmanship in print. There is another definition from Kennedy is advertising as a substitute for the human salesman. Because the salesman who need to rush every house and tell the they tell about their product. It takes much time instead of given an advertisement. Now, here we need to know about the marketing identity for consumers. Consumer needs and supplies various goods and services to satisfy those needs most effectively. See, we need a motor bike. So, if, in general, we don't know which motorbike is suitable for us. Means, if we know the features of a motorbike, we will buy accordingly our needs. We need, for example, we have to go general purpose in the city only. Means a radius of 30 to 50 kilometers. Then we can buy electric bike. If we our regular flying with from one town to another town, which it is from 100 kilometers away, then it is required diesel a petrol bike. So the needs, what are the needs? The needs of a consumer will be identified with the advertisement also. But because in newspaper we see automobile advertisement, they gives all features in the advertisement only. How much the mileage, how the equipment are inserted, how the pickup, all those are included. Various facilities, all those were included in the advertisement. Dear students, if you have any doubts, you may contact. It's a counseling class, so you may ask me your doubts. Otherwise, you just give your message in the chat box. I will read it and I will get back to you with the pieces. I will get back to you with the that doubt clarification. Is my voice is clear to you? Next, nature of advertising. You must understand, however, that advertising is a communication process. You have a certain message and that is decoded by a party, means a sender. See, here is again coming the mass communication system, mass communication. Mass communication what is like sender, the message and receiver. Here also the sender gives some message, the receiver who receives the message, that is encoded by the receiver who takes the message. We must understand that encoded message should be encoded message should be so clear that the person should not distort the meaning of it. This means that what you are trying to say and what the other person makes out of the message should be the same. You should not make the other part confused. So it means that the message should gain attention of the receiver and it should be understood. It should be able to stimulate the receiver and suggest appropriate method to satisfy their needs. There is a 4Ps in a marketing. For marketing persons who knows what is the 4Ps. 4Ps means product, price, promotion, and place. In a way, we can say that the entire process of a marketing is a communication process. For example, what do we want to say about a particular product? Is it a youthful, young, mature, secure? That is, what is the profile of the consumers or customers that we are looking at? Or it is related under this 4P marketing system. See, in the 4P marketing, advertising such as related to closely to other subjects of marketing, because we are discussing about the marketing. Be it is a personal selling or a sales promotion or a publicity or even public relations. Advertising plays a significant role in reaching out the selected target audience. In India, advertising as a pattern, as a it's a recognized means of the communication was accepted about 50 years ago. The growth in advertising after 1990s, because there is a one new industrial policy. We have a new industrial policy in the 1991. So these the drastic changes made in the advertising. Earlier we see in the newspapers or any other places only local advertisements. Later we have international advertisements like the Time Watch, in Rolex watch, like international brands advertisements also appeared in the general newspapers. That is because of the globalization. These are the new industrial policies. And the newspaper, magazine, television, radio, all these are hierarchically emerged in the mass media. Earlier only depends on the Indian context. The people are depends only on the traditional media. Before some 100 years ago, there is even technology is available, but it is not reached to many other people. Already we read some newspapers who started in the 19th century or 20th century. Some for print media, there is a 200 years of history. Later emerged media is radio. Radio first broadcasted in the year around the 1920s. Some just 100 years ago. Later television also at the same time only, but in India it is came in the year 1950s, in the 1958, 52, some in New Delhi, and some programs later, some experiments in the year 1975. That is a SITV program, which is widely available in the Indian televisions. Then after only the television era is emerged in the Indian context. And later after 20 years, we have digital media, means internet. Whereas coming to the latest, some 5 years, 10 years ago, we have social media apps, applications, social media networking sites. We have nowadays we have a digital media. In the digital media, again, we have the latest technologies, multimedia, AI related, VR related, AR related technology incorporated in the media houses. Scope of advertising. Advertising in India has played a vital role in the development process by creating a demand for consumer goods and raising the living standards of millions. A substantial amount of advertising expenses are utilized on advertisements of capital goods, intermediaries, consumer durables, and services, prominent investment, production, and employment. These are the scope we have with the advertisement. There is employment is also part in the advertisement. Now coming to discuss about the functions. Already we have discussed there is the primary functions and the secondary functions. We discuss two categories in detail. Advertising aims at fulfilling a variety of purposes depending upon the needs of a particular enterprise, provides a painstaking analysis is made regarding the various factors such as demand potentialities, cost, and media. The main purpose of every advertising effort is to stimulate, maintain, and secure the distribution and consumption of a product, that resulting in an increase in sales and profits of the organization. Advertising serves every sector of the business society, consumer, producer, and the middleman, that is agency or salesman. These are the purpose of the advertisement. Next, coming to the various functions of advertising. There is two types, two classes, primary functions and secondary functions. Coming to the primary functions. Among primary functions, we will discuss what are those are the primary. Number one is to increase sales. The main functions of advertising are to increase the sales of the product of a company by securing greater consumption, attracting new buyers, and introducing new users for a product. Here you may get a doubt about a birthday advertisement which is appearing in the newspaper. There is a link with the increase of the sales? No, there is a satisfaction. There is also sometimes we read the advertiser name. Advertiser name means the sponsor name, a company name, or a political party person, or a representative, because they are advertising themselves with the name of birthday. Sometimes purely a personal point of view that gives a satisfaction to that family. So that is why they gives the advertisement, birthday advertisement, or retirement advertisement, or any. Sometimes here we need to know about the informative advertisement also. For example, if any person has a disease, so immediately they need to make a phone calls and give to a public, means a person who is unknown, who is a very known person. So then they choose the advertisement tool for give their advertisement to know about the information about the disease. So that is, there is a personal, sometimes personal intentions also is these with the advertisement. Another one is the persuasion of the dealers. Advertising to pursues the dealers to stock more of the advertised goods. It makes for a wider distribution of the goods to the far corners of the country, where the product is not in a great demand. The advertiser or producer directly contacts the dealer to stock the goods and to pursue the consumer to buy. Here this helps the dealer also to sell the products, because people who read advertisement in the newspaper and they realize it, they avail it, and they go to buy the product. Goodwill is another point. Goodwill of the manufacturers is established. Over a period of time, goodwill of the manufacturers is established, because we see already we are heard about the one advertisement, a brand about the Apple or Tata. So that is a goodwill of the manufacturer is established. So a person who buy a particular brand product only from the pin who buys of a particular product, which the consumer who believes that brand is gives a quality product. This makes the manufacturer more confident and independent of wholesaler or retailers. It also protects the manufacturers from competitors who will find it difficult to develop a substitute for the nationally or internationally advertised products. This is another important function. Coming to another one is a company image. Advertising cultivates brand and company image. It creates goodwill, which is a more valuable asset than a physical assets. It ensures the manufacturer against all business risks. Another major function is confidence in quality. By advertising, the producer creates confidence in the minds of the consumer for his products. The same time, consumer believes the brand that in the vice versa, the brand owner who also thinks to give, don't damage his brand. So he maintains the quality. He maintains to produce a quality product. This is here a win-to-win position for the both consumer and also the producer. Buyer's delay is the view of a market where the buyer is free to choose a product, judge its quality. And coming to another function, that is elimination to seasonal fluctuations. Sometimes we see in the summer only we need to buy air cooler. In the winter we don't buy. But what to do the air cooler producer in this meantime, in between the from later of the summer, he gives some offers in a non-seasonal times. He gives some more benefits, more offers to the consumer to buy his product. One of the functions of advertisement is to eliminate or lessen the seasonal fluctuations, mainly for the seasonal products by describing their various uses during off seasons. For example, advertising the use of refrigerator all the year round has had a major impact on this. Nowadays, it is refrigerator is compulsory for every household, so they are buying in 365 days. Whereas comes to the air cooler, it is not required in winter, it is not required in a rainy season. Then in the rainy season or a winter, they give special discounts, special offers to the consumer to buy their product. This is a cycle because that product need to sell, so they give more offers. Another major function of advertising is more business for all. Cumulative advertising of two or more manufacturers in the same product category helps to expand the market and create more business for all. It creates a demand for the kind of the product and not for a particular brand. The various brands of the television, cars, radios, mobile phones, computers are the examples for this function. More business for all. Another function is raise in a standard of a living. Earlier, there is no gas stoves. Earlier, there is no pressure cookers. Only a pot, a clay pot is the primary for cooking. Nowadays, we have a rice cookers, various cookers, various home appliances included in our daily uses. That is means we raise in standard of living. Advertising also deserves credit for raising the standard of living of the consumers by instigating them to use newer and better things at a competitive rates. It is only because of advertising that the so-called luxuries of yesterday have become necessities of today. This is all I have given with the example. For example, TV or a mobile phone, which has been only a dream for the common man, now became very popular today. The cell phone is another example for the advertisements have converted a luxury to a necessity. Even though automobiles, still nowadays we are witnessing every household as one automobile. Maybe it is a motorbike, or it is a four-wheeler, or it is a three-wheeler, whatever. Nowadays, maximum houses are holding any kind of automobile. Because of this, by the advertisement only. Well, now coming to the secondary functions. In addition to the primary functions of advertising discussed above, there are many other functions which have gained importance during the course of time. Some of them assume prime role. We will discuss in detail. The first one is to encourage the salesman and lend moral support, because if a person, a salesman related to one soap or a liquid washing liquid, if he rush without any advertisement prior to his person selling, the consumer who don't buy, the consumer who don't believe the salesperson, whether the product is a good or not, a quality or not. So the advertisement gives a moral support to the salesman. Although a salesman has the privilege of the backing of the firm, he sometimes feels the need for a great confidence in himself or in his sales message and in his product. Here is a message means sometimes it is services. A message of a life insurance corporation. That is not a physical product. That is a service. And this is a particularly so when he meets typical buyer, it is helps to him because primarily the buyer who read about the product in the newspaper, or he heard or he viewed about the product prior to a salesman visits his house. He has the buyer has some idea about that product, where it is used, how much rate, what are the features. Rarely the buyer is aware about the product. At such times, advertisements are a big boon because it supplies the necessary information required for supplementing his message. Right, dear students, if you have any doubts, you may raise your hand and ask. Otherwise, you may give your message in the chat box. Now, again, we back to know about the secondary functions of advertisements. To furnish information, it requires advertisements. Advertisements supply the necessary information about the product, about the producer, about the stockist, and also salesman. Priorly, we have given some television product advertisement in the newspaper. So at the end of the advertisement, there is gives the dealers of the product. That gives it is easy the ordinary person or a person interested to buy the product who are aware where the product is available. The same applies to the mobile phones, automobile, maybe that is cars, motorbikes, scooters. So to furnish information, it is advertisement is required. Next one is the salesman and the dealers are benefited by the use of information given in the advertisement. Many times the information serves as a check for extravagant claims, because sometimes the buyer who is not satisfied with the product, then in the advertisement only priorly it is mentioned, then it is easy to the dealer and salesperson how to deal with that buyer. The printed words are the manufacturer's guarantee. In many products we see in the advertisement only they mention the offers and how many days they give the service, the guarantee, the warranty, which are the rates, where it is available, the features, everything is mentioned about the product in the advertisement. Another major function is to impress executives. Advertisements create a feeling among the executives and the administrative staff that they are working in the spotlight and are responsible to the public in a peculiar way. See, a product sold by a salesperson means he is responsible. They takes a mobile number, a dealer, a salesperson, or a dealer name. They takes the buyer who takes dealer name and the salesperson name, and if any service complaint, they make a phone call to that person only instead of to make a phone call directly to the manufacturer. Even though nowadays all products they are mentioning on the product the helpline number. This is a part of the technology emergence. In many ways, they become more enthusiastic when they see or read one of the advertisements. Another important function in comes under the secondary functions of advertisement. That is to impress factory workers. I know the factory workers are part in the advertisement. You may get the doubt. It often creates a good effect on workers who work in a factory producing advertised goods. See, the workers sometimes they don't compromise with the quality. In case of they work with a brand, a well-known brand, the workers also concentrate to give a quality product. In the market, we see a secondary grade product. There is no responsibility. There is some many minuses in that product, but they don't check thoroughly and they release the product. The secondary function of advertisement that to impress factory workers. They consciously or unconsciously take pride in helping to produce something known far and wide. They feel a part of a big organization and share some of the responsibilities. If a person who works with a Tata, he himself feels that he is working with a great brand. It gives a quality product as a worker. He says sometimes somewhere he is a product, he is a worker of some leading brand. Then to give all these aspects, the advertisement is required, either maybe in a print media or electronic media or whatever, a social media or hoarding, in any form, the advertisement is required for any company. Even though nowadays we are seeing a government advertisements in the newspapers about, for example, very recently, 2 days or 3 days ago, we have a government advertisement from the municipal corporations about the pay of house taxes. What concessions or discounts are they are giving in the newspaper. Feeling of security, another function. The workers of a concern of a well-advertised goods feel that their job is a permanent and that they will have a better chances for communication as the business grows, as the advertising will earn goodwill, security, and prosperity. To secure better employees, advertising makes it possible for manufacturers to secure and appoint better employees, such as executive salesmen and factory workers, because they check the skills of an employee. If a skilled person only, they adopt them, they give a chance to work with the company. As the company gains a popularity and is identified with a widely known product, any good applicant will feel proud to approach the company for a job. Thus, advertising helps the advertiser choose better employees. So far, we have talked about the various functions of advertising, primary, secondary, destination service. Now, coming to advertising and other communication forms, what are the difference between advertising and other communication forms? Communication in general, we know mass communication, we have print media, radio, television, and advertising publication. All these comes under the mass communication. Communication function being linked with the ever-changing market environment, that is a dynamic function. The communication mix, therefore, it acquires the dimensions of dynamism and varies from product to product and over a period of time. Here we will talk about the major determinants of the communication mix. Number one, type of product, the nature of market. Number three, the stage of product in its life cycle. Number four, available budget. And number five is a company policy. All those communication mix is a part in the advertising. Already talked about the personal selling. Here is advertising and personal selling is another. We will first look in the difference between the advertising and personal selling. Already we have discussed about the definitions of the advertising functions. Now, what is personal selling? Personal selling involves selling through a person-to-person communication process, whereas advertisement is a non-personal communication process. Here it is a personal in person-to-person communication process. It is explained the places on a personal selling varies from farming to farm, depending on a variety of factors, including the nature of the product or service being marketed, size of the organization, and type of industry. These are part in the personal selling. There is another form that is a sales promotion. All promotional activities other than advertising, salesmanship, and publicity, which help in increasing the market demand of the product. This is called sales promotion. It is a non-repetitive and one-time communication process. For example, we see on the roads some in a traffic junctions they sell one product. That is a one-time promotion of it. If the product is damaged, we could not contact anyone. We just throw it in the dustbin. That is a sales promotion. Coming to another form, that is the publicity. Publicity refers to the generation of a news about a person, product, or service that appears in a broadcast or electronic or print media. To many marketers, publicity and publications are synonymous. In fact, publicity is really a subset of the public relations effort. Now we need to know about what is public relations. Public relations also has been defined as the management of a two-way communication process between an organization and its public to promote the corporate vision, mission, products, reputation, and gain public understanding. already you were read about the public relations in entire book, which is in the semester 5. The title is itself it is a public relations. The course title is the book title. So in that portion, you learned about the public relations. Yeah, so far in this unit we have discussed definitions of advertising, functions of advertising, and the differences between the advertising and also other forms of the communications like sales, promotion, publicity, publications, etc. It's time to I have to leave now. So far, we are in this session. We talked about the entire unit 1. In the tomorrow's session, we will discuss about the next unit, that is the unit number 2. Thank you, dear students, for participating this course in classes. Will we meet again tomorrow at the same time? Please